And what a change in the Conservative Party. Now, within my lifetime, the Conservative Party has gone, let's be candid with each other, having a less than good reputation about matters regarding race. It could even at times be accused of having, not that long ago, a positively appalling record on that particular area. To now look at the candidates who are running to be leader of the party, 8 of them, 4 of whom are women, and of the 2 blokes, only 2 of them are white males. What a change. What a change. I take you back, and I warn you in advance, this has some pretty... And bear in mind that this is in my lifetime. I'm taking you to 1968. A man who then was Shadow Defence Secretary was being talked about, if you read your history books, was being talked about as a possible leader of the Conservative Party. So that gave you an idea, perhaps, of the thinking of the Conservatives, although, of course, this caused enormous controversy at the time, and he did actually lose his post. But I speak of, again, warning for the content, this was the Conservative Party as recently as the late 60s.
In this country, in 15 or 20 years' time, the black man will have the whip hand over the white man. Additional immigrant children are arriving from overseas in Wolverhampton alone every week. And that means 15 or 20 additional families a decade or so hence. Those whom the gods wish to destroy, they first make mad. We must be mad.
Enoch Powell addressing Wolverhampton because, of course, that was his constituency. Now, he was subsequently removed from his post. But were he still alive, I wonder how he would view some of the contenders. Kemi Badenoch, Suella Braverman, Rishi Sunak and Nadim Zahawi. Albie Amankona is a political commentator and co-founder of Conservatives Against Racism, joins me now, and that is the country's first centre-right organisation in that field. What does this tell you? What have we got? 1968, 50 years, under 50 years actually, the direction in which the Conservative Party is travelling. Good morning.
Good morning, Nick. Well, I suppose to answer your first question about what Enoch Powell would think about our current slate of talented Conservative Party leadership contenders is judging from that speech. I imagine if he was still alive, maybe he wouldn't be very happy about it. But equally, maybe he would have been on the same journey that the country has been on and that the party has been on in that time. And there have been things that have happened in history that both the Conservative Party and other parties have been involved in, which do not cover anyone in pride. But things have moved on. And what we're deciding now is the future direction of the Conservative Party and the future direction of this country. And I think once again, the Conservative Party has shown that really what matters is whether or not people are good at their jobs, do they have the ability, do they have the vision for this country, and the best person will win.
The best person will win. What does it say, though, about the members of the Conservative Party or the groundswell of the Conservative Party that it is such a broad field, in your view, Albie?
I think it says that the members of the Conservative Party and indeed the Parliamentary Party represent modern Britain and are able to make coherent arguments and good decisions about the future leadership of this country. And actually, those decisions that are being made that are going to change things for everyone, it doesn't matter whether or not someone is a woman or whether or not they're a man. It matters what they're saying and what they're doing, not who is saying it.
Do you imagine the other big political parties on this country, they would never say this publicly, Albie, but they would be looking at this lineup of candidates, perhaps not all of them, I appreciate that 1 or 2 of them might be sort of making up the number, but we're thinking, wow, that is a breadth, that is representing gender, race, class, in a way we would all choose to?
I think certainly the left-wing parties, the Labour parties, never even had a female leader, never even been close to electing an ethnic minority leader, although they did have the first ethnic minority cabinet minister, I believe, and some of the first ethnic minority MPs. I think Diane Abbott was one of them, so we've got to give them their due. But the point is, it is the left wing of British politics that talks about diversity and inclusion, that talks about representation mattering, which it does. But when it comes to actually following through on implementing those changes changes themselves. They seem to be very bad at it. And actually the person who I think is responsible for this slate is David Cameron. Because back when David Cameron was elected leader of the Conservative Party, he went on a mission to modernise the Conservative Party, and part of that was the Conservative Party A-list, where he encouraged a diverse slate of candidates to basically apply to become candidates for the election. And those were women, people from ethnic minorities, but also people that were talented and good at their jobs.
You're the co-founder of Conservatives Against Racism. Would you like to proffer the name of a candidate who you think would do the best for your campaigning?
I think all of the candidates would do an excellent job for the campaigning that we do at Conservatives Against Racism. Jeremy Hunt is actually on our advisory board.
Okay.
But
I think it's fair to say you're probably going to see Rishi, aren't you, in the top two from your reading of it, Albie?
Yes, I think we can be pretty sure that Rishi is going to end up in the top two unless something awful happens to derail his campaign. I think the question is who is going to be that second ballot, that second candidate on the ballot. I'm personally very excited about Kemi Badenoch and Penny Mordaunt.
Thanks for all your input. Good speaking with you. Might well speak to you again as when we get close to that date in September. Albie Amankona, political commentator, co-founder of Conservatives Against Racism.